of company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, criminals hit another gas station in Orange Walk. The entire ordeal is also captured on camera. Orange Okenyo claims he was abducted and assaulted by someone unknown to him. 2 teens go missing here in the north, and the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry sets the pace for campaign finance reform. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Wednesday, January 25th, 2023.
I am ready. You're getting the new and improved me. This is nice.
I think what really impressed him was the fact that I didn't turn into a monster.
Bring on the heat! Start up the gunfire! Whip up the day!
It's about a relationship that hopefully many people can relate to.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with
Centaur, your kind of company.
Hello? Velma Dinkley speaking.
Hello, Velma. Do you like solving mysteries?
Yeah, but I'm actually much more three-dimensional than that. Who is this?
That's the mystery. And solve it quick, because I'm in your house.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with
Centaur, your kind of company.
Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Last night, we told you about a pair of thieves that barged into the Uno gas station located in Tral Farmer Village. The thieves would get away with $135, one iPhone, and a container holding an undisclosed amount of cash. And tonight there is another robbery to report, also at the gas station. Elmer Cornejo has the story.
A pair of bandits came down on a gas station located at the exit of Orange Walk town last night and have the Orange Walk Police Department on high alert. Surveillance camera installed at the establishment recorded the entire ordeal. But could it be coincidence, since it is the second gas station to be robbed in less than 48 hours in the Orange Walk district? Two burglars, as was the case with the robbery in Trial Farm Village, decisively targeted D&K 24/7 gas station located on the Belize Carousel Road. The robbers can be seen with what appears to be a handgun. Both assailants concealed their identity. One is seen dressed in a dark sweatshirt, long black sweatpants, and a black warm hat with a mask covering his mouth. The other is seen using a black t-shirt and black short pants, a cap, and a mask over his mouth. One man believed to be the attendant on duty is seen sitting down. He is held at gunpoint. In the video, the employee of the gas station is seen frightened as the robbers sweep him down for what is believed to be his personal belongings and or his assigned weapon for duty. After half a minute, the robbers are seen leaving the area where the camera could not capture their next move, but soon return once more before leaving again with the male employee. The Orange Walk police station is now actively sifting through evidence, including footage captured by the surveillance camera of the gas station, to find and apprehend the culprits of this latest robbery. In this incident, like it was at the Uno gas station in Trial Farm Village that was robbed on Monday night, no one was injured. Elmer Cornejo, CTV3 News.
The Orange Walk Police Department has been busy as of lately. One incident that has the department working in high gear is that of an assault of a 31-year-old construction worker inside his own home. As per the report lodged to report, the police, that is, Amir Carrillo, implicates that around 9 p.m. this past Saturday, someone parked and began honking in front of his house. When Carrillo made the checks, he could identify the male person behind the wheel, but the individual drove off shortly after. Carrillo says that 30 minutes later, the known person returned with two other men, barged into his house, and attacked him indiscriminately. Thereafter, Carrillo says he was placed inside the van the men arrived in, and they proceeded to physically attack him. When they had enough, they shoved him out of the van and drove off. Tonight, police are trying to find out what and why the incident happened. Tonight, the family of Leslie Yam is on high alert after the 15-year-old teen went missing on Monday night from the village of Louisville in the Carousel district. We are told that she waited for her mother to go to church so she can make her escape from the family home. A police report was lodged and the family took to Facebook in hopes of finding Yam safe and sound. Yam's family is asking for cooperation from the general population as they intend to have Leslie back home. Today we spoke with the family via phone.
Ahorita conseguimos una llamada de a dónde se puede encontrar. Si es posible, pues allá en el Bully Tree, Cayo.
¿Cómo es que llegó allí?
Con un compañero, con un familiar del muchacho.
¿Su novio?
No, es un novio, no es nada.
¿Cómo está en su compañía de ese muchacho?
Pues la verdad, pues no miraba nada extraño. La cosa que como yo estaba allá en San Pedro y mi esposa estaba en la iglesia y solo estaba con mi varoncito y cuando salieron pues ya no estaba, se fue con el muchacho según.
¿Cuándo pasó esto? ¿Y a como qué horas?
Lunes en la noche.
¿Y ya se contactaron con la policía? ¿Qué dice la policía?
La policía le dijo a mi esposa que ellos van a llamar allá en Cayo, que lo vayan a ver.
¿Se le va a regresar
no
entonces?
No sabemos nada porque le van a tener informada a ella.
The family of Yam can be reached at telephone number 621-6554 if you have any information of our whereabouts. We are told that Corozal Police is working closely with San Ignacio Police after a report emerged that Yam may be in the company of a male person in Bullet Tree Village, Cayo. A teen from Corozal is also missing tonight. She is Ana Maria Mendez, a 13-year-old student who was reported missing on Wednesday, January 25th, 2023. Mendez was last seen on Monday, January 23rd, 2023, at about 7:30 a.m. when she left home en route to school. Since then, she has not been seen or heard from. The 13-year-old was last seen wearing a blue blouse, long blue jeans, pants, and black tennis. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of the teen is asked to call 911 or 922 or the nearest police station. A post-mortem examination has concluded that 80-year-old Augusto Acosta, who was fatally knocked down last Friday morning, died as a result of hypovolemic shock, massive hemoperitoneum, splenic rupture, and 11 and 12 therapeutic vertebral rupture, multiple blunt force traumatic injuries due to road traffic accident. As mentioned previously, on the morning of Friday, January 28th, police visited an area located between miles 76 and 77 on the Philip Golson Highway near the village of Concepcion. There, they saw Augusto Acosta and Misael Montejo, a 32-year-old Belizean maintenance worker of San Narciso village, lying on the side of the road. A few feet away from the individuals was a red and black Leafan motorcycle and a green beach cruiser bicycle. Investigation revealed that Acosta was on his bicycle heading towards the Libertad Junction when he was knocked off his bicycle from behind by Montejo. While Montejo sustained injuries, he is now back at home recuperating. No charges have been levied in this case. The Belize law that requires all employers to pay a minimum wage of at least $5 an hour has left a group of low-wage workers with less money in their pockets, since some employers have opted to cut working hours to mitigate the effects of the minimum wage increase. This is the kitchen conversation in most homes tonight, since minimum wage workers expected to have a little extra cash come January 1st, 2023, when the law came into effect. Today, the media asked the president of the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry if they have received reports of pay cuts and even release of employees.
We haven't yet. We've been speaking to some members. In fact, this was part of what we discussed the last time we were here, which is businesses will find ways of ensuring that they can stay afloat at least in the short term. So with that increase, they're looking at the ways of how they'll be able to continue business and continue to hold on to the workers that they have. We all know that the pool of skilled workers in Belize is rather small. So when you have persons who add value to your organization, you will find ways of how you keep them.
It is no secret that the BCCI objected to the announcement even when the government of Belize explained that the new increase in the minimum wage is a strategy to combat poverty and reduce inequality. Despite the justifications, the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry has objected to such implementation because, according to them, it will add significantly to the private sector's wage bill. Last year, the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry policy analyst estimated that the new law of the minimum wage will upscale at least $200 million added to payroll cost. Coming up next, Prime Minister John Briceño attends Blue Bond meeting. Stay tuned.
¡Es hoy! ¡Por fin es hoy!
A rodar. ¡Sí, señor! ¡Esto va a estar bueno!
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with
Centaur, your kind of company.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Campaign finance reform. It's a frequent political talking point that is usually just that, an issue that gets a lot of lip service but rarely any action. Now, more than 4 decades into independence, Belize is yet to even draft legislation that would govern campaign financing. But that is about to change, and the ones creating that change is the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The Chamber held a space and place to officially introduce the plans, though in draft to commence the process of having the government of Belize enact legislation pertaining to campaign financing. Past attempts to reform the country's laws have ended under the rug. As part of their campaign strategy, the government of the day pledged to formulate campaign financing laws in their first 100 days of office, says the president of the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and that is yet to come to fruition.
I must say it's a draft, so we will still need to take it to the draftspersons who have the better experience in, the legal languages. It's really just figuring out the best way to maneuver this within the current political arena to ensure that, in fact, this bill is actually put in place. It's not a fix to everything. It is not a complete answer or a final document that is not, as we said earlier, live, which means that it'll be continuously changing. And as we find the gaps, as the loopholes are identified, we anticipate that there are going to be adjustments in order to make it better. This was a part of the campaign promise by the current administration. In their PR and publications, pre and post getting into office, there was in fact campaign financing on their first 100 days. So it is concerning for us to see that in fact in the medium-term development strategy 2022 to 2026 that was launched on Monday, this is actually set out to be completed sometime around 2026. Why would it need to take that long if it in fact was a part of your first 100-day promise? We're now almost halfway through their first term. So today's session really was to inform the media of the intricate elements of what campaign finance is, looking at a draft bill that we've put together and sharing what could be put into law. And of course, then we will see how we can work with the government in order to ensure that this is passed.
Since it is at a very tender stage as yet, a timeline has not been construed to be able to monitor and evaluate improvements till campaign financing finally becomes enacted into law.
We don't have a timeline at the moment. It will have to go through the process. As was highlighted earlier, there is a process for us to be able to take it via the Senate to the Senate private bill option. And for that to happen, there's a long process that must be followed. Well, I shouldn't say long. A process that definitely can be maneuvered in a reasonable time. So it is really incumbent on it getting to the Senate and for the vote to actually occur.
But Belize's population is very small compared to other countries in the region. That fact allows for political polarization, and it is undeniable that political victimization has remained a weapon for political party victories. In fact, it has been the norm since the genesis of electoral politics in our slowly growing development as a nation over the years. That must be changed, says the president of the Chamber of Commerce. And with that in mind, he sent a message to the electoral populace.
It's important because each individual, as you said, it's become second nature to know that, okay, when election rolls around, I can anticipate that I will get some funds to encourage me to go to the polls and place my vote. And in that, it is important that persons understand that that small fee that you receive actually needs to last you 5 years. So, I mean, we could say the number. Your $50 is supposed to last you 5 years. So it's $10 a year. Break it down by days. There's no value in that to you as a voter. Really, you need to be looking out for the larger picture, because at the end of the day, if we move the country forward in a more positive light where campaign financing is regulated and monitored, and we encourage that all those political parties are registered, which is a part of the proposed bill, then it then helps to create a little bit more predictability in how politics is done in Belize. Our members generally would be, I guess, supporters in one form or the other, whether in cash or in kind. And so what occurs is the fact that while you support and there may be some expectation for a return, that's not always the case. So you continue to support because it's important for you to participate in the campaign arena, but at the same time, it's important that our businesses are placed in a situation where they can be better able to disclose that information publicly. I think that's important because it then places all the funds, and if we go to the aspect of we call it almost of a country global campaign fund where funds can be put in and tracked, it then takes away from the individual companies worrying about what they'll gain or not gain, or what victimization may happen in the event that they participate in campaign financing in its current format.
The Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry plans to champion campaign financing into legislation by 2025. Shrimp production in Belize peaked at 16 million pounds in 2014, earning over $90 million in foreign exchange. However, in 2015, the industry was hit with the early mortality syndrome, which decimated the industry, with earnings plummeting from a high of 90 million Belize dollars to 10 million Belize dollars. However, with the better pond technologies and advanced care protocols currently in place, as well as the attention of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise through steps such as leveraging market access to Mexico, the shrimp industry is looking to much positivity. In order to remain in the right path, Honorable Jose Abelardo May, Minister of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, has appointed a new task force for the shrimp industry. The task force will address constraints and a way forward to continue reviving the industry. Appointments to the task force took effect today at its inaugural meeting held at the Belize Agriculture Health Authority Baja Conference Room in Bamopan, and there the media spoke to Chairman of the task force, Hugh O'Brien, who elaborated on the reason behind the formation of the group.
The industry is struggling at this point in time. It has faced some severe challenges with disease, and the ministry and the Shrimp Growers Association are keen in trying to put together an approach that can bring the industry out of where it is to a period of glory once again.
So what are some of the factors that played into the shrimp industry maybe seeing a decline?
The main one was a disease called the early mortality syndrome, short EMS, and it affected all our shrimp farms to a large extent. It caused our production levels to dip. It hurt the shrimp farmers financially as well, and because we're using an extensive technology for production of shrimp, it really almost killed the industry. But new technology has arrived, has been tested in Belize, and has been proven. And so with a more intensive production technology system, we can increase our density in the ponds. We can clean out our ponds from the fecal matter and so on that predisposes the shrimp to these diseases. And you also have more environmentally sound systems for producing shrimp that we have tested and tried in Belize. It has worked, the profitability is there, and so it's now to really take this and ramp this up, expand it to other farms, and try to get the industry back on a really, really good footing. Receive a presentation from the Shrimp Growers Association. Chairman Alvin Henderson you'll be interviewing him shortly, and he can give you his his view of where we are. We're getting some insights from the Belize Agricultural Health Authority as to some of the issues in terms of our access to the Mexican market and the other markets. And then we're going to have a session looking at some of the constraints and slowly put the pieces of the puzzle together to put, if you want to use the word recovery or revitalization for the industry to get back on track.
O'Brien also outlined some of the priority areas the team will be focusing on.
Well, as apart from the disease that we are faced with at this point in time, we're going to try to zero in on what are some of the other potential threats. There are other diseases out there, there's contraband, there's issues with the technology have to be fine-tuned. An important thing to mention is that the intensive production technology initially was actually, if you want to say, designed by Belize Aquaculture Limited, the experts there under the late Barry Bowen. They were the first shrimp farm in the world that had the most intricate technology for production of shrimp, and it is coincidental that that same technology was sort of fine-tuned and intensified in Thailand, and Belize is now looking at that same type of technology. So we've kind of gone full circle. I wish you would have taken it from back then and move it to a higher level, and you would be at the top of the world right now. We missed that opportunity, but we're going to get back there, and I think that the opportunities are there for us to intensify production, to access our markets in Mexico, in Europe, and Taiwan, and even to Guatemala as well, and bring the industry back to a really, like I said, a very firm footing that can be, the Belize can be proud of having an industry that is second to none in the region.
Alvin Henderson, chairman of the Shrimp Growers Association, also forms part of the task force, and for him, the formation of the team could not have come at a better time.
We're at a critical place where, because of all of the advances we've had on the technology side, there's an opportunity to accelerate the recovery in the shrimp industry, recovery of production. So I'm really happy that he opted to start this task force, because I think there's an opportunity to bring all the minds, the people that can make a difference together to just accelerate the process of recovery.
So I see here it also says that one of your goals will be to review the current market accessibility and recommend the best market options to expand the shrimp exports.
Yeah.
So how important would that be for Belize to finally get this industry back where it once was and maybe beyond that?
No, I think shrimp has always been fascinating to me. I've been around bananas, I've been around citrus, but shrimp has always been fascinating to me. It's, for me, in agriculture, one of the more technical businesses that I've seen. In terms of market access, shrimp is very, very sophisticated. So just as our company, we've exported to Spain, Italy, Portugal, France, Guatemala, Mexico, Canada, the United States, Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados. It gives you an idea of just the absolute agility that you have with shrimp and being able to move product all over the world. And this is part of the reason why I think it's so important that we just push for its recovery, because it's an industry that can move all over and can compete globally. So I think that's really significant.
So I also know that you guys have a period of 3 months. Is that enough time for you guys to maybe get what all you want to?
No, I think it's more than enough, because I think what has happened that is not very obvious is that over the years, I mean, it's been a long time. This recovery and the search for better technology has been rather protracted, and it's been much longer than any of us could have anticipated. But in the process, there's been a lot of technical minds at this, and so we understand what it takes to reestablish markets. And I think it's going to be very complex. It's going to take effort. What we need to reestablish markets is ensure that we have the volumes behind it to supply those markets. I think that will be really critical. But it's not new ground. We've done this before. I have done this before. And so there's a lot of expertise that reside within the industry still to be able to access and reestablish markets that we've been in before.
The task force comprises of 8 members: Hugh O'Brien as chairman, Alvin Henderson, chairman of the Shrimp Growers Association, Charlie Naresh Punwani, owner of Quality Shrimp Farm, Sylvia Mendez, animal health officer, Baha Digno Polanco, Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, Dr. Osmond Martinez, chief executive officer, Ministry of Economic Development, Richard Reed, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and a representative from the Development Finance Corporation. A 3-month time frame is being granted to the task force to complete its work and submit recommendations to the Minister of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, who will then submit them to Cabinet for final consideration. Prime Minister Honorable John Briseno departed the country today en route to New York City to attend a Blue Bond meeting and Latin Finance's Latin American Capital Market Summit. The Prime Minister, on behalf of the people and government of Belize, will also receive a Sovereign Reconstructing Award of the Year. Of note is that the bond was created through a debt conversion agreement established with the Nature Conservancy (TNC) in November 2021 after the retirement of the infamous super bond. It is credited for reducing the national debt by $250 million US, saving more than $200 million US in debt servicing, and creating an estimated $180 million US in conservation funding over the next 20 years to be used for the protection of more than 30% of the marine waters and support for the work of the Ministry of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation and the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change, and Disaster Risk Management, tasked with achieving the commitments outlined in the agreement. On this first day in New York City, Prime Minister Honorable John Briseno met with the senior team of City Capital Markets to discuss developmental and financing opportunities for Belize. Though Belize's macroeconomic profile has improved dramatically during the last 2 years, there is much progress yet to be made, and Citibank, a key partner in the recent Blue Bond success, is well positioned to continue to support Belize's public and private sector programs. Tomorrow, the Prime Minister will participate in a panel discussion at the New York Stock Exchange (NYSE), focusing on emerging market opportunities, and later in the evening he will receive an award from Latin Finance for the 2022 Sovereign Debt Restructuring of the Year. Prime Minister Briseno returns to the country on Saturday, January 28, 2023. During his absence, Honorable Cordell Hyde, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Natural Resources, Petroleum and Mining, will hold over as Prime Minister. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, January 26th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at CTV3NewsBZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.